with the Bulk Report. This election today officially became a joke. Both the Labor and the Liberal Party are now talking up big scares about each other, and most of them are imaginary scares. Labor falsely claims the Liberals will privatise Medicare, that sacred institution.
What we're not prepared to do is outsource the payment system to a large bank, to a foreign multinational. When we travel overseas, we talk about our Australian passport and we love it. But to me, this is much an Australian passport as the passport we travel on overseas.
Meanwhile, the government announced it had turned back yet another vote, and Labor probably wouldn't, despite its denials. And Labor leader Bill Shorten, who won't come on this show to talk policy, went on Carl Sandilands' radio show to answer questions about his underwear and strip clubs.
Never have I ever been inside a strip club.
Yeah, once or twice. Way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
Uni days.
You got sometimes you didn't
I
even know
left
you were
once
in
I
a strip
realised
club.
what it was.
Joining me is the panel, Herald Sun columnist Rita Panahi and former Labor campaign guru Bruce Hawker. Bruce, that was familiar territory for you, wasn't it? Not that you've been in strip clubs, I'm not accusing you.
Thank you.
But Kevin Rudd, he made that famous announcement in 2007, that admission, teary admission that he had. Worked well for him. Do you think it'll work well for Shorten?
It certainly worked well for Kevin. It was so counterintuitive that everyone... well, this has made him a hell of a lot more interesting. And look, I suspect it'll probably not work in exactly the same way for Shorten, but it'll just be seen as a bit of dross that went through in the campaign. And I don't think people will think more or less of him as a result of it. Just one of those things that I guess makes you a human in the eyes of the electorate anyway. And that's certainly the attitude they had towards Rudd. How come this nerd was at...
Yeah, I don't know if it works the same with Shorten. I just think... I don't know, what do you think, Rita? And I also wonder, what is he doing on a show like that anyway?
Exactly. I mean, he didn't go on Eddie Maguire's show this morning because of what happened with that whole Caroline Wilson.
Too sexist. Made a protest, made a stand.
He's okay to go with Kyle Sandilands, who's called female journalists pigs and fat this and, like, you know, his record is appalling. So for him to say, oh, no, Kyle Sandilands is okay, but Eddie Maguire is a no-go zone, bizarre. And you know what? If you're going to go to a strip club, own it like K-Rudd did. Don't say, oh, I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't realise it was a strip club.
Oh, no.
When I realised, I walked out.
Bill Shorten couldn't pull off that naivete. No, and ring tearily at home.
I can tell you something.
It's like I did inhale.
I was just going to say, a Sky colleague of yours, Peter Beattie, who I just ran into in the studio here, I remember working on a campaign for him back in about 2000 or thereabouts, and they had to go on a talk show where both the Premier and the Leader of the Opposition were hooked up to lie detectors. And if you reckon that was scary. So, yeah, these things can get completely out of control. That? Well, because what do you got Bruce, to hide, Mr. Beattie, if you're not going on our show?
To me, yeah, I know, but why would a politician submit themselves to the sort of thing that Shorten just did? I mean, does it really change any votes out there in FM radio land?
I don't know about that, but I guess it gives them the opportunity to lighten up a little bit, you know, and in an incredibly tedious, long campaign, it gives them an opportunity to be seen as a bit sort of blokier or friendlier or whatever and more human. And that's a difficult thing for politicians to really, you know, get onto and seize. People like Beattie were very good at it, I might say, but others struggle a little bit with it.
Swimming with the sharks.
Oh, wow, that was
But Rita, you know... Rita, this is amazing. I mean, this is an election, and we're only a week and a bit away to determine the future of the country, whether we go even deeper in debt than the Liberals, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's some important issues, and yet we're down to talking about phony scares. They'll let in the votes, and they'll privatise Medicare. And then, by the way, have you seen that I've been to a strip club? You know,
what
does it say about Australians?
This is why quite a large percentage of Australians seem to be completely and utterly disinterested in the political process. And you're looking at this massive support for the minor parties. I'm not talking about the Greens. I'm talking about the minor loony parties, even loonier than the Greens, because people just do not identify anymore. And this scare
Now, I
campaign...
wonder whether you got it the wrong way round, Rita. You're saying the way they're behaving explains why the public's not interested. But I'm saying maybe the problem is the public's so pig ignorant and uninterested in things that should matter that this is what they have to do to get their attention.
I disagree. You look at the polling about what people care about and they say they care about the debt. They care about serious issues. And it's exactly the issues that both parties are ignoring. And I think... we sell the Australian public short. They're a lot smarter than our politicians give them credit for.
I don't see any
They're a lot
evidence
smarter
of that.
than media give them credit for.
Bruce, when you were a campaign guru and one of the best in the country, did you work on the public being smart as a whip or dumb as two sticks?
Well,
Honest, Bruce, honest.
Yeah, where's the lie detector? Look, you've got to treat the electorate as being very intelligent because whatever the outcome of the election, they got it right. And I tell you, in a whole series of election campaigns that we ran...
No, they didn't. Gillard was wrong.
Let's put that to one side.
That was with the help of the...
Let's put that to one side for the moment. But in the whole range of elections in the 1990s and early 2000s that we ran for state Labor parties around the country, they all either won by one seat or it was a hung parliament and they had to work out a working majority. It was as if the electorate was saying to them, oh, look, we're not really sure about you, but we're just going to give you various margins to see how you go. And that happened in New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, WA, wherever you went, Queensland, you had these very close results. And then in the second term, of course, they did extremely well. Every one of them they did remarkably well and usually were in there for 3 and more terms. So, the electorate, in a sense, does get it right. They'll put you on probation, they'll wait and see how you perform, and then they'll reward or punish you as a result. You've got to treat them sensibly. No. You've got to treat them right. Intelligent people.
Mate, you worked for a bloke.
Democracy.
You worked for a bloke who tweeted a photograph, tweeted a picture of him having cut his chin shaving, and you thought that would get votes. Don't talk to me about smart elections. But Rita,
well, they're not all successful.
The thing is, here is an election that challenges Bruce's theory. Neither side deserves to win.
I saw somebody post a vote today, a postal vote or early vote, and they put it was an informal vote. I had a sneaky peek because I didn't know which way they were going to vote, and I think there's going to be a lot of informal votes.
Absolutely.
A lot of people returning a blank.
None of the above.
Look, who can blame them? Who can blame them?
Got to go. Rita Panahi, Bruce Hawker, thank you so much for your time. Hang on, Peter Beattie, Peter Reith, the two Peters, fantastic. Hang on. But for me, it's good night.